Infinity War. This shit was epic. Russo Brothers, everybody over there at Marvel, thank you for this metaphoric nut bust. So before I went to go watch this movie, I had heard of concerns of too many characters in this movie. They're not going to be able to balance it all out. For me, each character shined, man. Like, they each got some development. Their powers were relevant. The only one I kind of had a gripe with was the way they used Vision. He was kind of the damsel in distress the whole entire movie, and I've come to notice that in the past few films that he's been in, they've kind of found a way to handicap him. So in Civil War, his handicap was that he was babysitting Wanda the whole time. When he finally got to the airport fight, they didn't really use him the way they should have. He didn't really use his powers. He could have single-handedly defeated Cap's entire team. And then here, conveniently, the Black Order, I guess, stabs him from behind and he's not able to phase through things or something like that. I don't know how that works, but okay. Whatever. This film is so good that it made me look past that. Now, I've heard of people saying, oh my god, people give Marvel a pass, but when DC does things, they don't give them a pass. Why? Why not? Well, let me tell you why. Because Marvel does other shit so good that it makes us not think about those things. That's why. Another kind of complaint that I had heard was that Hawkeye was not in it. Whatever. I do wish Ant-Man was in it because it would have been pretty cool to see Giant Man and then just simply small Ant-Man doing something against Thanos. I don't know. Maybe inside his gauntlet. That would have been pretty cool. But like I said, this movie was awesome. I didn't think about that while I was watching it, so of course I'm gonna give it a pass. Let's talk about the Black Order really quick. They were Thanos' henchmen, but they were done so good. In particular, Ebony Maw, man. That dude was scary and powerful. A small faction of the Avengers couldn't take him on. But the way they kind of alien sucked him out of the ship was kind of too convenient, I guess. Like, this dude's been working in space for I don't know how long, and him being sucked out into space has never been something that crossed his mind for which he would be prepared for. Or even when he was out floating in space, he could have used his powers to kind of create something around him. Let's talk about the way that the different Avengers interacted with each other. Thor, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America and Black Panther and Bucky. I guess some people found that a little bit too jarring or whatever, but nah, man, for me, I loved every single time they cut somewhere. I was looking forward to it, and I've seen the movie twice already, and even still, even though I knew it was coming, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every single Avenger interaction, every setting. However, I do wish that the final Thanos battle was in New York though. Yes, I know we already got the Loki invasion attempt in New York, but still, like, to have civilian people see this big giant purple titan and have them be kind of like, who the hell is this giant purple guy that's just beating the shit out of the Avengers? Oh my god, we're gonna die. Like, that's always a pretty cool perspective to see in comic book movies like this. I don't know about you guys, but at least in my opinion. Let's talk about the comedy in the film. They did this correct. Like in other films like Civil War and Thor Ragnarok, while I love those films, and they're probably up high in my all-time list of MCU movies, I thought that the comedy was a bit much for the tone of the films. Like, Civil War, in my opinion, should have been darker, as well as Thor Ragnarok. But the levity that the comedy brought removed that tension and sense of stakes, that it ultimately just felt like they were having fun with each other. Like, for example, at the airport battle, when Bucky and the Falcon got kind of tied up with Spider-Man's webs, and they just said to each other, I hate you, or something like that. Why didn't you do that before? I hate you. Like, it gives you the sense that they're just kind of playing with each other instead of really fighting, which, had they done that, the stakes would have felt real. But no, so that's what I'm talking about. They didn't do this in this movie. The instances of comedy felt like they were done at the right moment, where the stakes and the tension and sense of danger still felt real and was not removed one bit. But really quick though, I gotta say that my favorite line was in Wakanda when Thor says, hey look, I made a friend with a tree, and Groot says, I am Groot. And then Captain America goes, I am Steve Rogers. That shit. But another one was when Peter Dinklage's giant dwarf told Thor that he was going to die from taking that sun beam to the chest, that he would die, and Thor goes, I will die. And then he goes, yeah, because that's what killing you means. Oh my god, that was hilarious. See, like, that's what I'm talking about. The comedy was so good. It was done sparingly. It wasn't like where everything had to be funny. They just saved it for these little exact moments that reminds you, hey, Yes, there's danger. Thanos is a badass, but there's still fun to be had. But the sense of danger was still there. It was still looming. Russo brothers, you guys did a Herculean feat with this film. Can we get like the Russo brothers to do like every MCU film now? They've done the 3 best films, in my opinion. They did The Winter Soldier, Civil War, and Infinity War. That's a good 3 films to have been done, and they made them all awesome. I'm just saying, 3 of the best. Okay, let's talk about Thanos. Wasn't he an awesome villain? We kept seeing villains in the MCU movies being kind of subpar. You know, they're forgettable. DC has the best villains, especially the Joker. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I was gonna come out of any MCU movie saying that their villain was probably better than the Joker, because Thanos was fucking awesome. They gave him depth, they gave him heart, they gave him something he cared about, they gave him motive. He thought he was doing the right thing. He was almost like a cult leader. I mean, think about it. Even in death, you are being saved because you are going to die at the hands of the children of Thanos. That's some cult shit. The fact that he had to sacrifice his own daughter, which I think we can all say without question he loved, and he sacrificed her, he threw her down for the Soul Stone, and they showed his face and he was crying because he thinks he's saving the universe. He thinks that killing half of living things so that the other half have to basically compete less with others and have full bellies and a joyful life is worth everything he did. He knows he lost so much, but he thought it was worth it. That came out of his mouth, but his body language to me communicated guilt. This villain was just so deep. I never thought they were gonna do that with a CGI villain nonetheless. Speaking of Thanos, I love that he beat the crap out of the Hulk. But I have a question, and anybody who's watching this, if you could please answer this down below. Was he able to beat the Hulk because he had the Power Stone? I think he had the Power Stone, right? Because later on, they said that he already had gone to Xandar and gotten the stone. Was that the Power Stone that he got? Because I did notice that every time he used the stone would kind of shine. But when he beat the shit out of the Hulk, I was looking at the gauntlet and the stone was not shining. Is Thanos just that powerful that he can beat the Hulk's ass like that? Or was that the Power Stone? And then piggybacking off of that one scene where Captain America was holding the gauntlet, you know? Okay, if Thanos was strong enough to beat the crap out of the Hulk, how in the hell was Captain America able to hold that gauntlet? They never really revealed that. Like, how? But then he just knocks Captain America's ass right out and then proceeds to get the stone out of Vision's forehead. And then let's talk about Loki. I feel like I can confidently say that the Avengers that died at the end of the movie are gonna come back, especially because we know they got films coming up. But I think Loki's dead this time. Like, I don't think the MCU is stupid enough to have killed him off once in Thor Dark World, but then he wasn't really dead. Show us that he died at Thanos' hands and then resurrect him. No, because at the end, the way the Avengers died, I think it's safe to say that for whatever reason, the time stone is going to go back to that part and reverse Thanos' doing. But Loki's death was pretty heart-wrenching. I mean, they did that right. Right off of the bat, this movie demonstrated the real sense of danger. And then it continued throughout the film, because when Hulk lands at the Sanctum Sanctorum, right away, the Black Order comes in. It was unrelenting. It was like a 2.5 hour nut bust. Okay, so then let's talk about the end. Thanos wins. I was kind of expecting that, because here's why. For 6 long years, we get Thanos teased for us. And in one film, they're just gonna defeat him? No. And that one part where they showed kind of Gamora stabbing Thanos in the neck and where he died, but it was all fake because he used the Reality Stone. That kind of foreshadowed when Thor kind of axed him in the chest. I knew it wasn't over there. I just knew it wasn't over. But which brings me to a small question that I have. He has all the stones. Why is he kind of just defeating one Avenger at a time? Why doesn't he just, like, remember when he turned Drax into like blocks? Why didn't he just do that to all the Avengers at the one time? The one way that I'm kind of rationalizing this in my mind is because Thanos was not out to kill people. He was not out to kill the Avengers. He just wanted the gauntlet, so I guess he was doing only what was necessary at that instant, and then when he snapped his fingers, whoever died. I don't know. But damn, Thanos was such an awesome villain, man. This was Thanos' Thanos' movie. I was actually rooting for Thanos to get each stone. I do kind of wish that he kind of kicked Thor's ass one more time though. Like, the fact that Thor was able to just axe him like that kind of signifies that Thor can just kill him, but he has the Infinity Stone. Why can't he just turn him into blocks right there? Or the axe was coming straight for him. Thanos, take like 3 steps to the side, you know? The fight scene between Thanos on the moon and the Guardians of the Galaxy and Iron Man and Spider-Man, that was awesome. Like, I've heard people saying like, oh, the action in this scene doesn't come close to the one at the airport at Civil War. But because of what I had said earlier, that the Civil War airport scene, all the seriousness was sapped out because of the comedy, and the fact that you have Thanos, the Mad Titan, and Iron Man and Spider-Man are on another planet, and they're all fighting it out with Thanos, who has the Infinity Gauntlet, beats the crap out of the airport scene for me. And then when he gets the moon, and then he stabs Iron Man, I actually thought Iron Man was gonna die. And this is where my theory comes in. Or maybe it's not a theory. Maybe all of you guys already know. Remember when Doctor Strange was sitting there doing that? And he said he saw 14 million plus futures and only in one of them did the Avengers win? So then that means that he knew that giving Thanos the Time Stone to spare Tony Stark's life and Thanos ultimately winning was necessary for the Avengers to win. But yeah, who didn't want to cry at the end when Thanos snaps his fingers, kills almost all of humanity, or half, I don't know. That was more than half because Black Panther, Wanda, Star-Lord, Drax, chick with the antenna, I forgot her name. Who else? Doctor Strange. They all disintegrated. That's way more than half of the Avengers. Who didn't want to almost cry though when Spider-Man went? Yeah, Thanos won. And that's another reason why I love this movie, because it wasn't just another comic book superhero movie where the good guys win at the end. Nope. And then they didn't do the dumb bullshit where, oh, don't worry, they're gonna come back because, look, check this out, the dirt is starting to rise. Zack Snyder. But you know what? There are so many things to talk about for this movie that I really am just gonna do more videos talking about different things in this movie, because I think each one merits its own video. So stay tuned for those. So in conclusion, Marvel keeps winning. They keep bringing out bangers, certified fresh. Every movie of the MCU is fresh. Yes, even Thor the Dark World, fresh. And so I think to myself, hey yo DC, I love you, but so long as Warner Brothers and DC only care about money, they ain't gonna make that money. Marvel, while of course they care about money, they dedicated themselves to quality, great storytelling. They took their time and care about the fans. And what do the fans give them in return? I don't know, only the biggest opening ever. Infinity War beat out The Force Awakens and made $250 million this weekend without the help of China because it hasn't premiered there yet. The fans have also given them several billion-dollar plus movie. The Avengers, Civil War, Black Panther, and for sure Infinity War is gonna easily top out $1 billion. Maybe even $2 billion. And then of course, what else do the fans give them? Love. We love Marvel. We trust them. Marvel can come out with any movie, any character, and we trust that it's gonna be good. We're gonna give them our money to go see it because we know it's gonna be good. They've given us 19 movies, 10 years of good movie, good movie, good movie, good movie, good movie. And Marvel is gonna keep making that dough because we love them. And then another real quick thing that I wanted to add. The tone of this film, it was dark. It had humor, but in no way did it ever threaten to overpower the stakes involved, the sense of danger, the dark tone. That's more of the natural tone that DC films should have. But yeah, Marvel took that, used it, and used it well. It's almost like they said, step aside, stupid kid. Let me show you how it's done. Marvel did it, and they're gonna keep doing it. And for that, love you guys. Thank you for this movie. Thank you. Woo! Alright guys, that'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. And of course, if you are a Walking Dead, zombie genre, comic book movie, Star Wars, and an overall film-loving geek, and you want to continue getting geekful with me, subscribe. And of course, check out some more of my videos right now. Peace out.